Hi, welcome to part 2 of the Excalibur Lead's guide to lead making. What I'm going to show you here now is what does go wrong and why it goes wrong when you're making your own leads. I've got a few examples here. Well, I'm going to pick them up and show them to you very shortly. They're all flat pairs, and this is what has gone wrong for us tonight. If you can see, there's 5 different kinds there, and what I'll do, I'll show you them all individually and tell you exactly what went wrong. And the first one is this. If I can show you that, if you can zoom in on that, you can see here, this is where the lead comes to the top of the mould and it's spilt over, and what it's done, it's spilt over onto the swivel there, and you can see, yeah, it's filled the swivel full of lead. Not a big problem, but it does take a while to get the lead out. But all you've got to do is basically just try and tease the lead out with your fingers. If you can't do that, grab yourself a pair of wire cutters, which I conveniently have at hand, and just try and clip that out. Clip it out there. You will get it eventually, but to save time in this video, I'm not going to ponder on that. You just got to get it out. Yep. You'll clip that away eventually. That's because when you poured it in, it spilled over and it spilled onto the swivel. Okay. The next one I'm going to show you is this one. That is not a problem. Actually, that is quite good. What's happened here is, as you can see, the piece of lead has fell off. The piece of lead that that comes out of the spout has fell off. I'll show you with a pencil is a bit better. There. What's happened there is when I've gone to take the lead out of the mould, as you've seen me do earlier with the pliers, I've grabbed it, and because the lead is so hot, I've pulled it, it's come away. But that's quite good actually, because that saves us clipping it off and filing it, which will come more apparent later on in the lesson. The next one is this. That goes straight back into the molten lead. Why? Look at the top there. Yep. It's not quite made of lead, and the loop is far too much out. Okay, if you're making leads yourself, you probably would use that, but because I sell leads, I wouldn't sell that, for the simple fact that I wouldn't use it myself, and I always sell the leads that I would use myself. If it was like that, they'd go straight back in the pot. What's happened there is that the top part of the mould there was too cold, and the lead solidified there before it could reach the top part of the mould. If you see one that's perfect, you can see the difference. Big difference, isn't there? So, to me, goes back in the mould. Next one. Here we have a prime example of well, bit of a retard lead, really, isn't it? What's happened here? Oh, I dropped it. What's happened here? The lead mould was too hot. That is where it seeped out. If you can see there, that is where it seeped out through the crack in the mould, where the mould goes together. Lead mould too hot. What's happened there, if you can see, is the loop was not quite in the grooves. Otherwise it's a perfect lead, apart from that and that, but they're all perfect leads apart from the mistakes. So this one, lead loop wasn't in the correct position, lead mould too hot, dripped through the crack in it. The next one, now this is the one that you'll probably get the most. Yep, definitely you'll get the most, is the mould is too cold. Yeah, what happens is the mould isn't hot enough, and soon as your lead goes in through there, it solidifies, yeah, and then it congeals at the top, so you can't get any more lead in, and that's what happens. You get half a lead. Half a lead, no good. So that's the problems you will get. And as you can see here, we've made quite a few leads tonight, and well, it's pretty good because I got 5 examples of how not to make leads. Here's another one actually I've just seen there in the pile. That's one that didn't quite work. That was not quite hot enough. Yeah? In fact, I tell a lie. That was a case of I never had enough lead in the scoop, you know, in the little scoop. So I ran out as I poured it in, because you don't know which, if it's a 2 ounce, 3 ounce, 4 ounce or 5 ounce. You've got to guess, but you can guess the first pour. Yeah, if it takes a lot of lead, you know that's the biggest. Yeah, then you can go to the other end and you know it's the smallest. But what I've done, I've gone and put 2 ounces of lead into a 4 ounce mould there, and that's what's come out. But what all you do is you grab the swivel with your pliers or your forceps, whatever. Yeah, and then when you're melting your lead, you just dip it back in. Yeah, until it melts off. Then you can take your swivel and your loop out, and you've got a new loop, and the lead moulds in. Right, the next thing we're going to go on to is the clipping of the leads and the filing. Yeah, this is what I hate the most. I promise you, I hate this the most. But it's got to be done. It's got to be done. And remember, I've got to do this to every lead I make. And this is the worst thing of all. Is to clip the leads and then file them. There's your lead. Okay, I've got to clip away that and file it. So what I do, I take a pair of wire cutters, normal wire cutters, but get a good pair. Yeah, if you're going to make a lot of leads, get a good pair. You know, not a crap pair from like Build Team or anything. Get a bloody good pair of wire cutters, and you just clip it off like so. Take the excess lead. Don't throw it on the floor. Don't make your granny eat it. Don't make your girlfriend sweep it up. Take it out. Put it in a pot. Put it to one side. Because believe me, when you do a lot of leads, the excess, you'll make 20-30 leads out of that at the end of the day. The next thing is the nightmare. This is what I call the nightmare. Take a little pot, an ice cream tub. This is where you need the girlfriend who understands you a lot. Is file the lead until it's in its perfect shape. Get a good file, don't get a shit file, excuse my French, because it'll take you forever and a day. And just file it until it's the shape you want it. Like so. Remember, I have to do this to every lead that I make before I coat it. Like so. There we go. That is the lead file. That's ready to be coated now. So I put that to one side. Then I have to get another one and I have to clip it. File it. As I said, if you've got an understanding girlfriend, this won't be a problem. If you don't have an understanding girlfriend, go and see your father or find yourself somewhere where you can do it in peace. And that's just took me, that's 2. That's what I have to do for every lead that I make. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to go on to the coating, which is pretty interesting, and you'll probably see things you go, ooh, never knew that. See you in a minute.